All right, this lesson's on composite figures. Basically, you guys are going to be given a couple figures, and you got to add up all the areas of each of the pieces that you see. So, identify the pieces, get the area, and then add them all up at the end. So, it's our job to figure out the area of composite figures. All right, so what is it? Composite figure is a figure that can be separated into regions that are basic plane figures like triangles, parallelograms, trapezoids, rectangles, circles, etc. Now, second bullet, to find the area of a composite figure, divide up the regions and find each area. Then find the sum of the areas. All right. So if I look at number one here, I got two figures. I got a rectangle, we'll call area one, and a trapezoid, we'll call area two. All right, so we'll find the area of each. I'll do the rectangle first. Remember, it's just base times height, length times width, 23 times 12. That comes out to be 276. Now we'll do the area of the trapezoid. Area, remember for trapezoid is 1/2 the height. All right, so the height real quick. From here to here is 12. The whole thing is 18. So if I want to find the height of this trapezoid, 12 minus 18 minus 12 is 6. So 6 would be your height. Your bases are 15, and that guy is 23. If you type that in correctly, you should get 114. And then add up the two areas, get your total area of the composite figure, which comes out to be 390 square centimeters. Number two, I have a rectangle. And then if you check out the two semicircles, we'll call that number two. That makes a full circle. So you've got a rectangle, and then you also have a full circle, right? All right, so let's check this out. I'll do the rectangle first. Base times height. Now, this whole piece is 12, right? The radius is 6. And the whole thing, the diameter would be 12, right? So from here to here would be 12 for your base or height, whichever one you want to call it. At any rate, 12 times 5, that comes out to be 60. So area of the rectangle is 60. Now the full circle. Pi times radius squared. The radius is 6. And remember, it's a full circle. If I combine these two end pieces, it makes a full circle. Type it in, 113.1. The total area of the composite figures comes out to be 173.1 square inches. 3 is a trickier one. You got to do some a little more work on this guy. You've got a rectangle, you've got a triangle, and you've got a semicircle. Let's do the old rectangle first here. Then we'll knock out the triangle second, and then we'll do the semicircle third. All right, some pieces we got to find here. I know this part's 9, that part's 9, which would mean from here to here is also 9, right? So the distance from here to here, if I take the whole thing 26, subtract out that 9, the distance for the rectangle on the side would be 17. Now check this out. If this side is also 17 and there's 7 of it right here, if I take that 17 minus the 7, I'm left with 10 right there. I know this is also 9 over here. Radii are congruent. That's enough information to get us rolling here. So first, let's do the rectangle. Base times height, 9 times 17. That comes out to be 153. Next, I'll knock out the triangle. It's 1/2. Remember, here's your 90 for your triangle. Base times height, 10 times 9. If you type that in, that comes out to be 45. And then your semicircle. It's just, remember, since it's semicircle, it's 1/2 times pi times radius squared. Radius is 9. If you type that in, that comes out to be 127.23. And if you add all these guys up, total area is 325.23 square feet. Number 4, you have a triangle and a semicircle. For the triangle, remember, we got to figure out the height of this bad boy. 16 is your diameter, So each of these are going to be 8. And we got to figure out this height right here. I'm going to go quick with it, guys. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So H squared plus 8 squared is 17 squared. Let's see, subtract the 8 squared over, that gives me 225. Square root that, comes out to be a nice even 15. So the height for your triangle is 15. All right, let's go to work here. Cut that off. Let's do the semicircle first, and then we'll do our triangle second. So semicircle, 1/2 times pi times radius squared. Solution comes to be 100.53. For your triangle, 1/2. Base is 16. This whole thing is your base 16. The height we found to be 15. It comes to be 120. So if you add up the two areas, the total area is 220.53 square meters. Back page. Of course, a nasty one, number 5 here. You got a triangle, you got a square, and you got a trapezoid, right? So we got a lot of measuring to do. We'll call square 1. We'll do trapezoid number 2, and we'll do your triangle number 3. All right. How long is this square? Let's see if we can figure out some pieces here. All right, so first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with the triangle, actually. I can figure out this piece right here, right? I can do Pythagorean theorem. We'll call this little guy x. X squared plus 9.6 squared equals 12 squared. So a little Pythagorean theorem first, set it up. So we're going to subtract off that 9.6 squared. When we do that, that comes out to be 51.84. We square root that. That comes out to be 7.2. So check this out. So if this is 7.2, that's 7.2. The whole piece has to be 14.4. So for the square, we got all 4 sides that are going to be 14.4. So we cut this off. Your square, 14.4 by 14.4. That comes out to be 207.36. That takes care of the square. Next up, we can knock out the rectangle or we can do the trapezoid, but we can do the triangle first here. We got all the pieces. That's 1/2. The height we know is 9.6, and the base we know is 14.4. If you type that in correctly, that's 69.12. And then our last piece, we got to knock out this trapezoid down here. So we can do this real quick. We know this is 14.4. But the only piece we don't have is the height right here, right? Well, check us out. If this whole side is 25.4 and that's 14.4, what's left for the height is only 11. Just subtract them. 25.4 minus 14.4. So for the trapezoid, 1/2, the height, which is 11. Though your base is in parentheses, you have a 10 and you have a 14.4. If you type it in correctly, that comes out to be 134.2. And then the 3 areas, you got to add them all up. So total area for this 3-figure composite figure is 410.68 square meters. All right, last section, guys, your shaded regions. It says to find the area of a shaded region, find the area of the entire figure, then subtract the area of the non-shaded regions, right? All right. So find the big area, subtract off the white section, basically. So we've got a square and we have a circle, right? So find area of square minus area of circle. So square first, 25 times 25. That that comes out to be 625. The circle, pi, times radius. Right now, the diameter is 25. So if I cut that in half, that would be 12.5 for a radius. So pi times 12.5 squared comes out to be 490.87. So here we go. You take the square minus the circle to get the area of the shaded region. If you do that correctly, 134.13 square feet. Square minus circle. All right, 7, you got a rectangle and a triangle, right? So it'll be rectangle minus the triangle. So first, we'll do the rectangle first. Remember, it's just base times height, length times width. 14 times 25, 350. Triangle. 1/2. Base, this whole piece over here is 25. And the height of that triangle is 11. 137.5. So here we go. Rectangle minus triangle. That comes out to be 212.5 square centimeters. Number 8, semicircle minus triangle. A little bit of work here because I do not know what the radius is, right? We got 90 up here, but I do not know the radius. Well, Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals all of that, C squared. So off to the side real quick, 9 squared plus 21.6 squared equals your radius squared. Left side adds up to be 547.56. Then square root that to get the radius. That comes out to be 23.4. All right, so your diameter is 23.4. But then cut that in half to get the radius. Radius would be 11.7. Now I've got all the information. All right, semicircle first. 1/2 times pi times radius squared. If you type that in correctly, 215.03. Triangle. Kind of squeeze it in over here. 1/2. Base is 9. Height is 21.6. That comes out to be 97.2. All right, so semicircle minus triangle will give you the area of the shaded part, which comes out to be 117.83. Last one. Trapezoid minus semicircle. Little tricky for this. We can find the height, though, or the part of the base first. The whole thing is 17. From here to here is 17. The whole thing is 37. So if I take the whole thing minus that 17, I'm left with 20 for that piece. And to find the height, Pythagorean theorem, right? We'll just call this the height. A squared, B squared, C squared. So H squared plus 20 squared equals 25 squared. Subtract the 20 squared over, that gives me 225. Square root 225 is 15. So your height is 15, which means my diameter over here is also 15. But if I cut that in half, radius is 7.5. Now you've got all the information. Trapezoid, 1/2 the height, 15. Though your base is in parentheses, 17 plus a 37. If you type that in correctly, that comes out to be 405. The semicircle, it's 1/2, because it's a semi, times pi times 7.5 squared. That comes out to be 88.36. So here we go. Trapezoid minus semicircle. Area of the shaded region comes out to be 316.64 square inches. And that's it for areas of composite figures.